purchase 4 levels to get a coaching business from 0 to 300k a month. And if you know the exact strategy to use at every level, walking through these levels becomes fun instead of frustrating. So in the next few minutes, I'll be taking you through the 4 levels and the exact strategies as I see them after scaling 5 different businesses to hundreds of thousands a month myself. Some of our portfolio businesses are at over $500,000 a month, and I'll actually make a new video as soon as I've scaled a couple of them to over $1 million a month. So the first level is just validation. You just need to get your offer right, find the right target audience, and a way of consistently selling those leads your offer. And then before moving on to the next level, the only thing you really need to manage are your margins. Like, you need to have good margins, and you need to have a scalable way to deliver upon your promises. These are the bare basics of your info product business, and until you get these right, you can't really scale. These are also the things that you need to have sorted before applying to work with us at Forge Waters, for example. In order to get all of these things sorted and to get through this level, all you need really is to crack the code on your audience and who is really attracted to you. So for every personal brand, a certain type of people is attracted to them, and this also really plays in like with your offer. After you've cracked the code here and your delivery is fully scalable, this will already take you to about 30 to 50k. Okay, level 1 is extremely easy, and pretty much everyone who can think logically and put in a little bit of work will actually be level 1. But level 2 is also not that hard, but a lot of people don't manage to be level 2. And that's because of 2 big reasons. You see, level 2 is pretty much increasing lead flow, and this will literally take you to 150k. But most people never actually manage to increase lead flow, and that's mainly because of 2 reasons. Either they lack strategy, so they don't put their resources towards the right thing, they don't have the right focus, their focus is spread too much, or they actually lack knowledge of what they are supposed to do, like in marketing and sales departments. But I have a solution for both of these potential obstacles. So let's dive into that solution. Make sure to have one clear proven strategy for paid ads and one proven strategy for organic marketing. Now, you can find your organic marketing strategy by simply looking at your biggest competitors, what they are doing, and just testing a whole bunch of stuff to see what actually resonates with your audience and your personal brand. For the paid marketing, personally, we have scaled to hundreds of thousands a month with single VSL funnels over and over and over again. If you want me to make an exact in-depth video on that, just comment down below, I'll make that video. Now we are at the hardest part of your business, and this is where we actually need to create like a machine. This is where we build a real company, and this is also the level that almost nobody beats. The edge here lies in systems, processes, automations, management, and data. And this may sound like a whole bunch of buzzwords, but let me break it down step by step for you so that you can actually implement this. And what's important here is that you understand the why behind why this actually works and allows you to grow your business. If you don't understand how stuff works and why stuff works, you will never be able to grow your business. You can pretty much view your business as a machine leading people from point A, not having any idea who you are, but with a pain point. You need to lead as many people as possible to point B. First, they need to get to know you, and then they have a better life and their problem is solved. This is all your business is supposed to do. Getting people from point A to point B exists out of different stages. And the first stage, obviously, is that people need to understand who you are. And we do this and we take care of this by advertising. Then the second stage in between is that they realize they have a problem and they realize that you are the person or the business that is going to solve that problem for them, leading them to a bit better life. And this whole part is basically taken care of by sales and marketing. And then the last stage is pretty much to actually solve their problem, and this is the delivery part of it. Now, most business owners get stuck because this part of the business actually becomes too expensive. So the CAC, the cost to acquire a customer, goes up, and your margins basically go down. And this is because of a couple of reasons, but mainly because the operational side of things is not efficient and effective. I just realized that my draw skills are not amazing, but this is supposed to represent a machine. Your business is a machine, and as soon as these costs go up, this means your margins go down, and at some point you realize that you're scaling but not actually making more money. And in order to get this cost back down, we need to optimize this, the machine. We need to make this more effective. The customer acquisition process needs to be more efficient in order for your CAC to stay down. And on the delivery side of things, you can actually make sure that value of your customer goes up, or the customer lifetime value needs to go up. This ratio basically needs to be sufficient and healthy in order for your business to scale. Okay, now this sounds a little bit fake, but in order to do this, you need to ask yourself the right question. So what in my machine is not working properly right now, and making sure that the CAC is going up? You need to figure this out for yourself, and then you're able to solve this. And the only way you can properly fix this and figure out what the problem is, and thus sufficiently solve the problem, is by having the right data at hand. If you don't have the right data, or you don't know how to read your data, you'll never be able to scale. We can only optimize and improve if we know what the actual problem is and really understand it. And we can only really get to know the problem and understand the problem if we have the right data, and especially, very important, if we properly know how to read this data. So that's what we need systems and data management for. But as I also mentioned, we need proper management as well, because as soon as you are starting to scale, you will have more and more difficulty with making sure that everybody is doing what they are supposed to do at the rate they are supposed to do it, and at the level that you need it to be done. That's why we need KPIs to keep an overview of how everybody is performing, and you need absolute A players managing all the departments. If you feel like the A player part is the actual bottleneck of your business right now, just click here on screen somewhere, because in that video I go through the step-by-step process that we use in order to attract and onboard A players for your team and have them actually properly function within your company. So after beating level 3, it's actually not that hard to get to level 4. The only thing you really need to do is to keep iterating, staying consistent, and properly read the data and base your actions based off of that data. And then there's one thing almost nobody is capable of actually doing, and that is to properly think ahead. Like, in order to keep scaling, you already know what problems you are going to encounter in the next couple of weeks or months. You will not be able to actually predict the future, but there is kind of a way of doing this, and that's literally by looking at the right data at the right point and understanding how to properly read it. You can already see what problems are ahead, and you can fix them before they even come up. So this is what will actually take your info business to 300K a month. And earlier in this video, I mentioned the hardest part about scaling your business to this level, which is team management, and particularly sales team management. But luckily for you, I actually made an in-depth video on exactly what choices to make with your sales team based on data that we use in order to do over €1 million a month. So if you click here on screen, you can actually watch that video right now.